So this is shop tip number 5. Now today's shop tips are being done because I'm working on my M5, trying to find out what this big clunking sound is in my drivetrain. So I wasn't set up, I didn't have anything here, I don't have the fancy lighting to make a really great video, but I figured I'm here, I've got my stuff, let's just shoot a few things and see what we can do. So, backyard garage lighting for the shop mechanic. I hope it still comes across and you can see it fine. So what I want to talk about in shop tip number 5 is lighting. Not lighting for taking videos, but lighting for working on the car. Now, I don't care how many overhead fluorescent lights you have, or even if you got a couple of incandescents mixed in, so you get that mix of a nice red and blue light. As you know, fluorescent lights are red, fluorescents are blue, incandescents are red, fluorescents are blue, and you combine them together, you get a nice natural lighting condition. But really all you want to do is be able to see what you're doing when you're working on your car, so you need light in the right places. Most of the time you're working on the car, you're working at the wheel well, on the brakes, you're working on the hood, so the overhead lights don't do any good, so you need trouble lights. And so I'm going to talk about the different trouble lights, what I found works and what's be beneficial. So this is the famous LED lights. Now you can get these standalone, you can get them on stands, you can get 500 watt halogen bulbs, 1000 watt halogen bulbs, which can be bright as heck. The problem is, if you look at it, you blind yourself, and they're hot. So if you're in the south, like I am in Florida, these things generate a lot of heat, and the last thing you want is heat when you're working in a hot day. Now today here, when I'm shooting this, it's October 30th, it's a Saturday. It's about 85 degrees outside in the middle of the day. The last thing I want is more heat in my shop. But great also, you can also use it to bounce it off the wall to get nice and direct lighting. If you've got painted walls, it works great in your garage or in your shop. You can get some good overall lighting maybe into things that are helpful. Now I found these to be really beneficial. Simple little button click for spot. Two levels of lighting. They run off of AAA batteries, and I can find these, they got a magnet on the bottom, one magnet here, 4 around. It's also got this nice hook. I've never used the hook with these, but I like to stick it on someplace, usually on the underbody, pointing at something. They're not perfect, I can't get everything I need, but it does come in handy. Next is the old trouble light. Now this one I've had forever. You can see how beat up it is. It's been dropped a few times. It's probably been run over a couple of times. The clamp has broken off. But these are very helpful. Clamp in place, and they throw a decent amount of light. 75 or 100 watt bulb. I found the 100 watts and the 150 watts bulb turn out faster. The 75 watt does really well. And the thing I like about this one, specifically why I still have it, despite the fact that it's beat up, is it's got this really long cord. And so it means I can move it around a lot, and I'm not plugged in or having to move my connection. And so I've got a couple of lights plugged in. I can use this one and move it wherever I need it. These are also good for under hood. So when you have the clamp that works, you clamp it on the hood, shine it down. It works great. Others also, I don't have them, the battery-powered fluorescent tubes. Those are also beneficial. But usually the length is a problem because you can't get it in there's the crannies. So for example, if you're trying to drop a trans or disconnect the shifter, connect lighting wiring on your transmission or your end, running in the car, that thing is too long and it doesn't fit. I don't have one anymore, but the typical trouble light, it's fine. You can hook it. It's got a little basket cage around it. That's helpful. But it has a very direct lighting spot, and I found it not to be as good as I'd like it to be. I like the light to be behind me, shining at, sort of an angle where I'm looking, where I can see those bolts. If you're trying to take off, for example, a belt housing, or unbolt the transmission from the belt housing from the engine, or the clutch, you want that light behind you shining out, and ideally from both sides, so you're shining into the work area, you can see well, you can see what's going on. These are really nice. These are Harbor Freight Specials, as are these. I got these, when you buy, they have the sales, buy $20 or $50, whatever it is, get a free trouble light. And these have 2 different light sources. You've got one end is a spot, like a flashlight. The other end, which I find really bright, is this halogen type, or an LED style, it's so bright, which is a broad flood and gives a great amount of light. It's got the magnet on the back so you can mount it onto something. Although, to be honest, I've never had it stay on a car when I've tried to use it. So I've used the little hook, hang it in place, and that works really well. The downside is this one got full of grease. I tried to wipe it off with gasoline, and that nice little plastic lens became all cloudy. It still throws light, it just gets diffused a little bit, not quite as bright. And of course, I always keep on hand a box of AAA, the AAA batteries and pinky ones, because these and these burn through batteries like nobody's business. And so having these on hand is great when you need that light that's there. Now the other thing I found as a surprise are these. These are LED lights that are used in the photography business. So I got these when I was starting to shoot some YouTube videos and sell stuff on eBay and Amazon, and I needed to light up my stuff so I could take pictures. And I thought, you know, as I was working on my M5, I grabbed these to give good lighting because they throw a lot of light. You can't clamp it onto anything, but if you set it on the stand or on the table like this is, you aim it, you turn it on, and it throws a lot of light. And ideally, you can get it from the ground going up, for example, and you bounce enough light around, you can actually see what's going on. So that's my tip on lighting. Shot tip number 5, and in some ways, one of the most important ones that you can use to make your garage experience better. So there you go, shop tips for the day. Oh hey, bonus segment on shop tip number 5. I forgot this particular work light that I have in my shop. It's an LED. Again, I got it at Harbor Freight. But one day I went through and just bought a bunch of lights because I wanted to see what it was doing. It throws a lot of light. You can see the LED elements in the middle. If you look close enough, those little yellow rectangles, those are the actual light sources itself. It shines a lot of light. Problem is, there's no clamp, so I have to set it on a flat surface. Great for on the ground, just like I showed you that photography light for shining up. Works great for that. It has a nice articulation. Turn it in different directions. But the problem is, it hits the bracket. So I can't set it up to shine down on something. So a lot of times, if you're working on a hood, or under a hood, you want to be able to set this, maybe you've got a bench next to you, or a work cart, and you can be able to angle this so that it's shining down. I can't do that because this construction, you can see the body of the light itself hits that bracket as I try to rotate it around. But for shining upwards, great light, throws a lot of light, fairly inexpensive. Again, another Harbor Freight special. Mechanics Rent, they should pay me for promoting their stuff. And there you go.